Grade 12 FABM students, for the second week of our discussion in Fundamentals of Accountancy, Business and Management 2, we will be preparing Statement of Financial Position. Here are our learning targets. After watching this video, you must be able to identify the parts of the SFP, differentiate the report form from the account form of SFP, and prepare an SFP using the report form and the account form with proper classification of items as current and non-current. Let us recall the definition of SFP. We have discussed that SFP is a statement that gives the financial condition of a business as of a given date. So the SFP is another name for the balance sheet. It is composed of three elements: the assets, liabilities, and the capital or the equity. Assets are things owned by the business. Liabilities are the debts owed by the business to persons other than the owner of the business. And then the capital refers to the investment or the equity of the owner in the business. So the SFP is very important in a business because it provides the owner with an understanding of the financial position of the business. How much are the assets it owns? What is the total of its obligations to suppliers and external parties or the liability? And as a capitalist, what is the balance of the owner's interest in the business? You will be able to answer these questions by looking at the SFP of the business. Here are the steps in preparing SFP. We're going to prepare SFP of a single proprietorship, and we are going to start with the heading. The SFP must have a heading comprising the name of the business, the title of the report, which is the Statement of Financial Position, and the date covered by the report. Second one, its left margin is usually divided into two. The extreme margin for the subheadings, for example, if it's current assets, plant, property, and equipment, other non-current assets, current liabilities, non-current liabilities, owner's equity. And the inner margin for the specific account titles. So, yung unang part, parang yung left margin, hinati mo sa dalawa, wherein meron kang current asset, non-current asset, current liabilities, non-current liabilities. Tapos, yung sunod naman ay yung specific account titles. For the right margin, the extreme money column is also for major subheadings, while the inner margin is for specific accounts. Pag nakita ninyo yung example, mas maiintindihan ninyo yung kung ano ang nakalagay sa right margin. Pero this is for the money column. And then, take note of this. A double row is placed under the total assets and total liabilities and equity. As expressed in the accounting equation, assets must be equal to the liability combined with the owner's equity. Now, let's talk about the SFP in report form and account form. Please take note that these two are only formats. Ibig sabihin, same pa rin ang kanyang assets, liabilities, equity, and ang kanyang mga accounts, same pa rin. Format lang ang pinagkaiba. So, sa report form, a form of the SFP that shows assets accounts first, and then the liabilities, and then the owner's equity. Kapag naman account form, a form of the SFP that shows assets on the left side, liabilities, and owner's equity on the right side. Para lang siyang debit and credit balances of an account. Here is an example of statement of financial position in report form. As you can see, the assets are listed first, followed by the liabilities, and then the owner's equity. Also, please observe that the amount in assets is equal to the amount in liabilities and owner's equity. This one is an example of SFP in account form. As you can see, the assets is on the left side, while the liabilities and owner's equity is on the right side. Let us also study the headings. The name of the business is Highway Print. And then, the name of the document, Statement of Financial Position. And for the date, as of 31 December 2018. So it means at the end of the accounting period, which is at the end of the year. So please take note of the term used, as of, and then the date. For our illustrative example, let us use Alberto Barbershop financial transactions. First one, Mr. Alberto invested 15,200 pesos to start his barbershop. His equipment for his shop worth 9,600 pesos. His shop has cash deposited in a bank account amounting to 4,500 pesos. Then, his shop has uncollected payments from customers amounting to 750 pesos. He already paid 1 year's rent in advance amounting to 2,800 pesos in December 31, 2020. The shop had outstanding liabilities to utility companies amounting to 1,300 pesos. And lastly, we had payable amounting to 1,150, and the supplier agreed that payment can be made within 1 month. So let us classify the following transactions to its proper account. First one, this is just an investment. Okay, so it means it's an equity. Next one is equipment. So it means it is under equipment account. Then there's cash, because it is a cash deposited in a bank account. Next, for the uncollected payments, we have the accounts receivable. And then here, advance payment for a rent, so it means it's a prepaid rent. Then there are utilities payable. So take note, this is not an expense but a payable, utilities payable. And then we had payable amounting to 1,150. So this is also an accounts payable. Now that we know the proper accounts, we will transfer it to SFP. Now, the accounts were already transferred on the statement of financial position. Please take note of the classification. If it's under current assets, non-current assets, current liabilities, and non-current liabilities. Also, please take note of the equity. Class, as you can see here, for the current assets, we have the cash, accounts receivable, prepaid rent. And then, for the non-current assets, we have the equipment. And then, for the current liabilities, we have the accounts payable and the utilities payable. For the non-current liabilities, there are no transactions for that. So, we have to leave it as it is na lamang. Ano po? So, walang nakalagay. Then, we have the equity. So, 7 transactions. Meron tayong 7 na accounts. Cash, accounts receivable, prepaid rent, equipment, accounts payable, utilities payable, and the equity. For the next part, we're going to put the amount for each account. So, for the current assets, we have cash, 4,500, accounts receivable, 750 pesos, prepaid rent, 2,800. Then, combine the amount for the current assets, we have a total of 8,050. And then, get the total for the non-current assets. That is 9,600. Combining 2, we will have the total assets. So, pagsasamahin muna lahat ng current assets, pagsasamahin ang non-current assets, pagsamahin ang current sa non-current assets, at makukuha natin ang total assets. For the next part, we have the liabilities and equity. Uunahin muna natin syempre ang total ng current liabilities. Isasama natin kung meron sa non-current liabilities. Pag nakuha na ang current and non-current liabilities, pagsasamahin para makuha ang total liabilities. Tapos, si total liabilities isasama kay total equity. And that is 15,200 combined to 2,450. We also have 17,650. So, as you can see here, kompleto na. Nabalansin natin ang assets at liabilities and equity because we all know that asset is equivalent to liabilities plus equity. Now we have here the statement of financial position in report form. kung saan mauuna muna ang assets at nasa baba niya ang liabilities and equity. Same flow ng computation. Total current assets plus total non-current assets is equal to total assets. For the liabilities and equity, total current liabilities plus non-current liabilities is equal to total liabilities. Combined to total equity, makukuha natin ang total liabilities and equity. Thanks for watching this video. For questions and clarifications, you may ask them during the Zoom meeting or you may send them in the class group chat. Good luck and God bless you all.